Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Practical Reefer. My name's Mark. Just a little update on the tank and a few things that have been going on. Now, I got my macroalgaes last week. I've now actually gone to the effort of securing them to the rock, so I'll show you them in just a minute and what I've used to do it. I've also placed, well, in the last 5 minutes, just rescued my zoas, which had been placed for a good few days. I think my Cerith snails were getting a bit close to it and managed to get under it and popped it off literally before I started filming this, so they're closed up just now, but they'll be fine. And I've also placed my GSP on a rock, which is also being attacked by Cerith snails, it would appear. I'm trying not to glue these down at the moment because the zoas is probably not going to be the last place to be. I want to buy more zoas, play about with the colour wheel and sort of get contrasting colours next to each other, so I'm trying not to glue that down. The GSP, probably going to let it spread over that rock, and I'll probably actually remove the frag plug so it's a bit more natural looking, although I might have to glue it down and just pull it off at some point. That might be the way to do it. Now as well, the corals, I'm about 2 weeks in with the corals, par 38 lights, my 40 odd quid worth of eBay par 38s. Now if you do check out my Instagram, I do put the odd photo up of the corals under blues. Now that is an additional bulb which wasn't included with the bill, but 99% of the time they're just under these sort of daylight par 38s, which are mostly blues, but when you have a mix of blues and whites, the whites really show. It's a bit glary on this. I'll get the lenses on and stuff later on, but yeah, a couple of weeks with the corals in there. They're all opening up every day, they all look healthy. I've got myself yet another clove polyps. Every time I go to my LFS I see a slightly different clove polyp, which is something I really want, so I've got a couple up top. They're obscured by this little box here which I've got the mushrooms in. There's a bit of green hair algae on those. I think it's actually bryopsis, which I want to take off with hydrogen peroxide. So I'll pop them in a little container just off the ground, because the one that has most of it was actually sat against the rock, because I perched it against there. I noticed some of it was spreading on, so I pulled it off, and I just thought it's not going to be a huge issue. I'll get dealt with it. But and the big thing, which you can't quite see, there's also another rock added, but my little Tailspot Blenny's just sticking his head out. I've never ever realised how many little crevices and nooks and crannies there were in my tank until I bought a Tailspot Blenny. They're so good at manoeuvring themselves, and just every now and again he'll back himself into a new crevice. And I'm like, oh, didn't realise that was there. But I'll spin the camera around and I'll just let you see where I'm going, and I'll have a quick view of the tank. So guys, here we are. The camera's a little bit far out, but I'm using a tripod rather than my shaky hands. So as we can see there, my red-haired chondria is glued onto the rock at the top, and then I've got the green macroalgae, which is, can't quite remember the name of that now, but I've got that attached to the rock there. It's in my last video. And then also I've got the red grape algae. I'll just move that over. I've got that glued to the rock there. Now if you see my Instagram, that's just practical.reefer. I had an absolutely savage attempt at trying to glue that to the rock. There was red grapes all over the place. I had a white rag underneath it, which probably had as many grapes on that as there were still left on the branches. It takes a bit of a hit shipping as well, but it's totally come round. It's starting to show some new growth and it looks pretty healthy. It's just I totally abused it trying to put it on. Now I did buy the good old Gorilla Glue, which is the gel super glue, which has been recommended to me, which is absolutely would recommend getting that. However, I did have a couple of tubes of just Bostik, you'll not see that there very well, Bostik super glue gel. This is liquid, so it's cyano acrylate, which is the right stuff. However, if you try to use that underwater, it'll be a total nightmare, whereas I was able to pull the rocks out there that I was gluing the macroalgaes onto, and pulled them out, give them a quick dab, and then use the liquid super glue. So that's fine, and the plan is for those rocks to be able to come out so I can trim the macroalgaes later. Although they are display macroalgaes, I want to be able to take them out to trim them, no problem. So that's fine. I've also placed the GSP at the bottom there, you see a little rock, and then I've got my zoanthids at the top right there, which look a bit crap because they just got dropped onto the sand bed. I'm pretty sure that was one of the snails, which I didn't notice. You will see as well, you can actually see it quite well here. I'll try and zoom in a little bit. The difference, now I've got 10 Cerith snails in here, and they are doing a pretty good job now. All of my rock work was pretty much brown, especially this piece which got left for a while. You'll see a little bit of green hair algae, a few strands there. I'm going to start pulling that out soon. Hopefully the macroalgae will kind of battle that as well. That little fella just had to get rescued out of a little crevice there. He'd managed to get himself wedged upright. The pointy bit of his shell was facing down into that little gap, and he was facing up the way. I also had to rescue one out from just to the right hand side of the GSP there. You'll see there's a little gap. One of them had got himself totally wedged in there. I don't know how he managed it, but managed to pull him out. But he was pretty well and truly wedged there. So I do have to keep an eye on the Cerith snails. They're a bit of trouble. But yeah, looking pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Again, par 38, so do what I need to. And here is my little Tailspot Blenny. I'm actually going to take it off the zoom because 8x zoom is terrible. Let me just unhook this. He's actually really active. That's him there. Oh, maybe try and get him that way. See his little horns. But yeah, he's about all the time. Obviously, I'm in front of the tank now with moving stuff about and a tripod and things, which has maybe got him going. But I've got some other videos in there that I'll pop in. But within about 10 minutes of him being in the tank, he was checking out different hidey holes. And the day after I got him, he decided to go and hide in one of like the back of this piece of rock facing the back of the tank. So I spent ages trying to find him. It wasn't until I went to the side of the tank, looked in the back, I could just see his head popping out just like that. But it's amazing how many little crevices he's found. And I'm like, oh, where is he? And they just little bits of rock. You can fit in pretty much every little hole, every little gap that's in my rock work. So really funny fish to watch. He just kind of comes out and pecks away. I'm pretty sure he's eating copepods and pecking away at the algae when there's some on the glass, which I've cleaned the front just now but not the sides. And he's pecking away at the rock work and stuff. But really happy. I'll pop in some better video of him because he's now decided just to chill out in his little rock. But that's getting moved as well. Ooh. Mushroom's doing something. Not quite sure what that is. Feel free to comment below. It's like it's eating something, or it's is that it's a one hole fits all? Is it a mouth and a butthole? Could be one or the other. But yeah, there's my little guy. But I'll pop some better video of him just from the day I got him, and he was just all over the place, just investigating. Clowns don't bother him. They sometimes swim by and have a little look, but pretty happy. And then I've also got just some little clove polyps there. Obviously it's not under the blues, but I've got those ones there. I've got ones with a bit more yellowy, and then I've got firework cloves at the back. So they'll all be getting secured onto that rock later on, and be making a little garden of them. But yeah, that's the update of the tank at the moment. As you can see, the ugly stage is there is that middle rock which has not been attacked as much, but some of the Ceriths are now starting to make their way onto it and having a good go at it as well. So pretty happy with that. So just about 5 minutes in the tank, guys. He was in a little nook at the very bottom there. Actually, I've seen the reflection of the glass a bit better. He was in the bottom there, but he's now come up a little bit higher. He's had a little swim about, and he is not bothered. Excuse a couple of small bits of algae in the glass there. He's seems pretty chuffed. He's pondering out, and away he goes. Oh, excuse the focus. Oh, he's gone back in the little hole. Clowns are interested, but not giving him any bother. Oh, away he goes. Ah, he seems keen. Just getting him in the reflection there rather than actually straight on. Ah, these are going to be funny to watch. Just creeping about. If that clown would go away, I think they're wanting fed, or they expect to be fed because I'm sitting here, which is why I always feed them at the right hand side of the tank. It's away from my surface skimmer, which sucks in some of the pellets, so I always feed them on the right hand side, which is, I think they're just expecting it. They are cool little fish though, very happy. 25 quid as well. You know, it's not an expensive fish, don't get me wrong, it's not a cheap hobby, but absolute great little character. One of my Ceriths, they're just chilling out. But yeah, really happy. Nice fish. Oh, here it comes. The big thing I would say about these fish as well, they are suited for sort of reef aquariums or nano aquariums at sort of 10 gallons, and I think that's 10 gallons US as well. So this is 20 UK gallons, so they'll apparently do well in a 40 litre-ish aquarium. So this is 90 litres. So this is one of the reasons I went for them as well. I do plan to buy lots of very small nano fish, or not lots of fish, but my fish for this tank will be sort of very small nano fish, so that the tank's more than big enough for what they need. Obviously I don't plan on upgrading this tank anytime soon. I plan to keep it for a good length of time, so a number of years hopefully. So things like this and coral gobies and the clownfish, they'll all be fine in a sort of 10 gallon tank. I've seen people keep clowns in 5 gallons, which I personally wouldn't probably do, but yeah, certainly I think the 20 gallon then is a nice big tank for them to explore. And you know, there's loads of hidey holes for things like this Tailspot Blenny here, so that's kind of my theory on it, is buy fish suited for a smaller tank than what I've got. Yeah, I could put them in a 10 gallon, but I think it's nice to put them in a 20. Bigger is better in that sort of respect. But this is literally, we're sort of 10-15 minutes after he's been in the tank. Oh, he found something there. He's maybe seeing some copepods or something, and he's off for a little peck. So quite happy that within 10 minutes, you can see there, one of the reasons I got maybe this week instead of next is that I'm starting to get a little, my next stage of the ugly stage is, looks like maybe they started green hair algae. There's just a few strands here and there, or there's quite a few strands, but it's nothing major. But I think it'll be some good food for him, so happy to buy him and let him deal with it, and then obviously we'll keep feeding him. Oh, is he gonna have it? He's looking at it. He's checking it out. He's just found himself a little nook. But yeah, really cool fish. Really happy with that. Very, very nice. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a little like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.